here's where a historical vantage is important.
All right, Jill, come on.
Because if you think about the conservative insurgency that Kevin will have a much better vantage on this than I, that really begins in the 1950s, with the John Birchers and William F. Buckley and their strange silent alliance, that what the conservative insurgency determined was that in order to defeat the stranglehold that they believe liberals had on American politics and the constitutional order, they needed to defeat the arbiters of truth and knowledge. And that was the press, and that was the courts, and that was the university. And when you think about that, how are we going to defeat these liberal institutions? Well, we can discredit them, we can make alternative versions, or we can just out and out destroy them. And, they made an alternative press that took a long time, took decades. You don't really see that until the 1980s with the limbo era and Ailes. They took over the courts. You don't really see that happening to the Federalist Societies formed in 1982. But then Reagan makes those kind of devises his litmus test for the courts and completely transformed the federal judiciary. But what they couldn't really figure out, because they tried finding an alternative to higher education, these various Christian and evangelical and other kind of right-wingy kind of institutions of higher learning, but they weren't very successful. They didn't really have the talent, and people didn't want to go to those schools over other schools. So the wrath with the Stephen Millers of the world, or the tech right, the Peter Thiels of the world are on, so salivating at the opportunity to destroy, especially the Ivy League, comes from the stand patness of higher education as the place where truth will not die.
Because they don't know they're in a war. That's the whole idea. That's the point of these institutions, whether they're the press or whether it's education or all of these other civil institutions, didn't realize they were in a war, that there was an enemy that was stalking them. Kevin, is the Ivy League, is that the final boss battle of this conservative move from the 1950s on up? Because they have built parallel institutions. They have discredited, whatever it was that had the authority in the country. Is that the final move?
I think so. I think Jill is the final boss, and they're coming for you. But I mean, what Jill said is...
Thanks, Kevin. No, they're coming for you.
No.
Both of you.
No.
The only thing that's left will be podcasters. We are the cockroaches of this new society.